companies that everyone's been talking about for the last 10 years, these are peer incorporated companies. So, all of these, these big companies making a platform and me adding my stuff, my excess capacity on top. I mean, I actually love all of these. But if you think of Skype, Skype built a telecommunications company on the back of what? My internet connection, my laptop, my video camera. They didn't have to lay any cable, they didn't have to buy any infrastructure, maybe some servers, but they built the telecommunications company in short order, like 5 years. They had done a really good job. Wikipedia, my knowledge, and what is the excess capacity is my friend Clay Shirky. I think he calls it excess mental capacity or something. It's got a nicer term, which is what Wikipedia is. And so, YouTube, my brilliant video put up there, and maybe no one will watch it, or maybe many. There's a website you have to go find that is never seen YouTube videos, and you think, you didn't even get it on, you don't even see it once yourself. So these are peer incorporated companies. I want to share with you an example that I really love to help describe what's the power of these companies. So think about sharing, which is what I think about a lot, and put into your mind now bed sharing. Okay, are you focused now? Bed sharing, you got it? When I come to a place like Austin, where do I want to stay? I actually want to stay at a friend's house, and they might have a spare bedroom. And if I'm lucky, I have a friend in Austin. I used to actually, ZipCar's longest employee ever lived in Austin for many years as an engineer, and I would stay with him. And I could have a room like this, or if I'm extra lucky, I might have a double bed. That would be really great bed sharing. If I'm unlucky, the teenager got booted, I have to sleep in those dirty sheets, it's kind of scummy. And this is really why hotels were invented. And so hotels are in fact bed sharing. And if you think about a hotel, it has to get, just like ZipCar, it has to get a return on investment over that 7-day week and make sure things are going well. So I went online and I did some research to say, okay, what is the largest hotel in the world? What's the largest bed sharing in the world? And it turns out it's the Intercontinental Hotel Group. They've been around 60 years. They've made 650,000 rooms in 100 countries. And I just want to pause and for us to reflect on the effort that it took to be that #1. And note that Hilton has been at it for 93 years and didn't make it. So if you're going to be the head of the king of hotels, you have to go find a location. You have to choose a city, you find a location. You have to go get an architect, he does the drawings, you have to get all the permits. Then you have to go build the hotel, then you have to staff it, you have to get all the stuff, all the beds and the bedside tables in it. Then you have to hope that people actually want to stay. You hope there's no hurricanes that are going to, crush it or wash it away. You have to choose well. And a whole bunch of those hotels, we can know over those 60 years have failed, and other ones, 4,400 of those hotels have succeeded. But it was this massive, massive, brutal effort. So some of you in this audience are knowing what I'm going to say next. So there's Airbnb, which lets me put my spare bedroom and my house online. And after 4 years, they had 650,000 rooms in 192 countries. And this is where I do my "can you believe it" dance. Like, it's a phenomenal thing that's happened here. Like, what in heck? If you're a hotel, it's like, how did that happen? It is this incredible, incredible pace of growth that is possible. And I have to, of course, mention couch surfing, where you can stay without paying, and after 9 years, 2,500 couches that I can put my body on in 207 countries. So this new business model, this new way of doing business is incredibly disruptive, is changing everything, and it has some great opportunities for us. So what in heck is going on? Let's look a little bit deeper. So I look at this and I think, what did industrialization show us? Industrialization, which is all about building a company absolutely as big as you can. You want to reduce those transaction costs, you want to get as big as possible, and everyone is inside you as the company. And what do companies do really well? They make large investments over many, many years. No individual can do that. They do things that require lots of different kinds of intelligence. Me and my 2 friends, we can only have a certain amount of expertise, but companies, they can get a huge amount of expertise altogether to do really complicated things. They can apply standards and standard contracts. And this is kind of all bound up in a brand promise. If we think about Airbnb, It's not like 650,000 bed and breakfasts, right? We communicate, each one of those people, those guests, potential guests, are communicating in the same way to Airbnb. They're expecting the same standards. There's the $50,000 whatever insurance. So there's a standard expectation, the payment we can understand. So this is what companies and institutions and governments do really well. But it turns out that individuals do some things really, really well too. And these things that individuals do are really expensive for big companies to do. And so individuals, if you want to do really small things, that's for us. If you want to do things that are local, customized, specialized, that's what we do really, really well. And it also turns out that we do things that are very creative and innovative, because if we think about a company, their idea is we do the exact same thing the exact same way every time, whereas individuals are iterating and doing many different ways of things, and they can produce things better. So again, going back to the Airbnb example, the place that I'm staying at now, the Marriott Courtyard, they've decided what the price-value ratio that I, Robin Chase, want to have when I stay in a hotel. But in Airbnb, where my husband is going tomorrow night, because I won't be here, he could look at the types of rooms that were for offer in Austin, and he could decide that actually he wanted to stay in the place that had bikes free, so he could ride to this conference tomorrow. And he didn't want the big flat screen TV and the 7 pillows on the bed that he's getting at the Courtyard Marriott. So you really, with this model, we can capitalize on what individuals do best. So it turns out, of course, that when we put these two things together, they actually dovetail really, really nicely. And each side is complementing the other, what we make them when they collaborate. And so it's this collaboration that I'm calling Peers Incorporated.